Greetings everyone! Welcome to the Sonic Universe issue 83 review. Yes folks, it's a review of a brand spanking new issue. No retro reviews, no re-edited versions of previous reviews, and I apologize way in advance for the long hiatus. I had some personal issues to take care of, but I'm back now. It's been months since I reviewed a brand new issue. Anyway, today we begin a new arc, Eggman's Dozen. Yep, the main villain gets another 4-part story, the first set in the new continuity. Here's a brief setup to this story. The planet's in pieces and Eggman wants to take advantage of the situation. He plans on harnessing the Dark Gaia energy for his own purposes. Thus, he builds Eggmanland to harness the energy. However, another party wants the energy for themselves. The Naugus twins, who quickly take over Eggmanland with the aid of their witch carters. We start with Eggman and his Egg Clan and Metal Sonic heading towards Eggmanland to deal with the meddlers. Upon seeing the Egg Fighters, the main soldiers of Sonic Unleashed, with crystallized heads, Eggman immediately concludes that it's the Naugus twins. This leads into a flashback of a game adaptation, Sonic 2 for the Game Gear. Yep, the same game referenced twice in the Champions arc, only now we're at the end point. Because the Naugus twins arrived during those events, Eggman decided to cut his losses by releasing Tails and leaving. Before he gets away, the Naugus twins capture him. Wendy even has a crush on Eggman. Sonic's also captured, leaving Tails wondering what to do next. I wonder where this is going. Back in the present, Eggman plans to regain control through the Central Collector. Despite the crystal activity, the energy absorption continued as normal. In days, he'll have it all. But here come these guys, the Witch Carters, to ruin Eggman's day. Eggman sicks Metal Sonic at them, but Behringer powers up and smacks Metal Sonic to the ground. Falk Wolf displays his own energy beams directly at Eggman. He figures out that they've absorbed Dark Gaia energy for themselves. Eggman and Metal Sonic counterattack until the Naugus twins themselves enter the fight. Eggman and Metal Sonic chase Wendy and her witch cart, leaving them vulnerable to Walter's attacks. The wizard reveals to Eggman that he's using 3 Master Emerald shards for power, as opposed to the one we saw earlier. Maybe he found 2 more in Eggmanland or something? He fires another blast at Eggman, but Metal Sonic blocks it. Wendy comes along to crystallize Metal Sonic, ending this battle. Walter decides to keep Metal Sonic for potentially useful purposes, and minions have no say when you can manipulate their minds. Eggman escapes, swearing vengeance to the twins. The Doctor realizes his blunder and decides to assemble a mostly organic team. Once he returns to what I presume is the Death Egg, he starts making the calls. First is Nephthys, and we get to see Eggman's side of their conversation from Sonic 279. Next up is Clove, then Thunderbolt. Well, look who it is! Battle Lord Cuckoo 15 and his son Speedy from Tails Adventure. Then there's the boss of the Northern Ocean, Ucklut, and the boss of the Southern Ocean, Abyss. Ah, Father of the Year right here, folks. Then we have Hood, Axel, and another returning member, Conquering Storm. And finally, we have this new guy, Ma. So yes, Eggman's gathering all of his egg bosses to take back Eggmanland because, otherwise, the Unleashed adaptation will end awkwardly. If I don't say it now, someone probably will in the comments. The name Eggman's Dozen has 2 meanings. First, it's a reference to Ocean's 11, where Danny Ocean has to assemble a team to commit a heist, kinda like the plot of this arc. Second, Eggman's Dozen is a pun because how many eggs are in your average carton at a store? A dozen. So yeah. The plot. Eggman needs to get Eggmanland back from the Naugus twins. I did like the callback to a previously mentioned Sonic game, and a possible connection to another. The Tails solo adventure, Tails' Sky Patrol, in which the two-tailed fox takes on Witch Cart and her crew. Speaking of, the trio have been redesigned to a more modern look, and they ditched their game vehicles for extreme gear because why not? And Falk Wolf's name's changed. Originally it's called Falk Wolf, but it sounds very close to a certain F word. Plus, according to Ian Flynn, Falk sounds similar and was a model of plane by the Falk Wolf Company. so that's a nice workaround. Of course, Eggman had to lose, or else we wouldn't have a story. This leads to, for me, the highlight of the issue, gathering the egg bosses. Many of them we've met in one form or another, and some we haven't. In fact, I can lump this group into 3 categories. Ones we've met in the old continuity, ones we've met in the new continuity, and ones we're meeting for the first time. We'll start with the old continuity crew. Let's begin with Battlelord Cuckoo 15. As I said earlier, they came from the game The Tails Adventures, and they made their comic debut in the adaptation of The Tails Adventures. And because they're game characters, they can reappear in the comic without problem. Based on the dialogue, they are still connected to Eggman. For those not in the know, in the old continuity, the Battlebird Armada, or Grand Cuckoo Army, were loosely affiliated with Eggman. But Eggman in the new continuity still sees Battlelord 15 as enough of an egg boss to recruit him for the operation. There's also some redesigns here. Battlelord Cuckoo 15 is roughly the same, but they got rid of the high heels. Speedy, on the other hand, gained a flight suit, an improvement over the metal diaper, believe me, and there's a slight redesign in the beak area. Our next egg boss is Ocelot, and he's gotten the Mudskeek treatment. If you recall from my Sonic issue 254 review, I mentioned that Mudskeek changed from an ordinary dog into an anthropomorphic dog. Same thing here, except with a whale. In the original universe, Ocelot had mind powers thanks to Eggman's cybernetics. We don't know if this applies to this guy, Mordred Hood. We actually met him in the previous Eggman arc set in the old universe, Scrambled. He has hypnotic powers, but it's unknown if his new continuity self has them. And it's implied that he's wearing some kind of suit that gives him legs. Finally in this group is Conquering Storm. In the old universe, she was introduced in the Iron Dominion arc as the leader of a ninja clan serving the Iron Queen. Spoilers, after the Iron Queen was taken care of, Conquering Storm became Eggman's new enforcer in the Dragon Kingdom, eventually getting robotic eyes. It looks like she hasn't changed too much, slightly different outfit with less veiny robotic eyes. But she's still a ninja clan leader and egg boss of an Asian-inspired area. The next group is new egg bosses we've already met. Now I'm not going to spend too much time talking about these guys because you can look them up in my past reviews. For your benefit, however, I will list the egg bosses, give a brief description, and their signature issues. First we have Nephthys. What you need to know about her is she tries to maintain a stalemate so that things won't escalate. She appears in Sonic 278 and 279. Next is Clove. She and her sister Cassia only came to Eggman because Cassia had a condition that needed treatment. Unfortunately, they became trapped in the Doctor's servitude. They debuted in Sonic 263's backup story and were fleshed out in Sonic's 277, 278, and 279's backup stories. Thunderbolt is Eggman's most loyal egg boss. I mean, look at her room here. She worships him. You can see her in Sonic 264, 265, 266, and 267. Tundra. His mentality falls along the lines of might makes right and the strongest rule. You can see him and his Father of the Year methods in Sonic 276. Finally for this group is Axel. He's the first new egg boss Eggman meets in Sonic issue 253. We later learned in issue 280 that he was part of a gang of marauders that just happened to sign up with Eggman and that made them more dangerous. The last group is the completely new guys. We're not going to know much as this is the first time they appear in this comic. Now this is just speculation, but Abyss appears to be pirate-like and Ma is probably a newbie. Something to point out, Ma is a thylacine, an extinct marsupial. Very obscure, but at least it makes sense when it comes to controlling the Sonic World equivalent of Australia. For this part, I'm giving it a 7. It's your typical start of an arc, but it's Eggman here. What helps the score is a glimpse into the egg boss's personalities aided by Tracy Yardley's pencils, not to mention some past game references and the relation to one another. So, how will Eggman and his crew plan to take back Eggmanland? We'll find out next time. Until then, have a good day and be safe. I dread to think what Wendy did with a captured Eggman.